I'm Jay.
And I'm Sarah.
We're a Canadian couple that retired early to travel the world full time. Whether you're thinking of traveling, retiring, moving long term, or working as a digital nomad in Albania, you're going to want to know what the costs of living are like.
We lived for 3 months in Saranda, Albania from March to May 2024, and these are our average monthly costs in different categories.
We're doing these costs in US dollars. You can do your own conversions. So it could be argued that Saranda is more expensive than many other cities in Albania, and we do agree. So these numbers might be a little higher than what you'd experience if you lived in other places.
We've broken our costs down into 8 categories.
Those categories are accommodation,
Eating out, including beverages,
transportation,
groceries,
entertainment,
utilities and phone charges,
bank fees.
and miscellaneous items.
So the first category of accommodation includes all of our Airbnb or hotel expenses across that 3 months, averaged down to a 1 month value. So in this trip where we spent these 3 months, we had 2 stays in Tirana, both at bookends of the trip for transportation purposes. We then spent 3 months at an Airbnb in Saranda, and we spent a day in an Airbnb in Barat. Our accommodation in Saranda was a simple but spacious 1-bedroom Airbnb apartment. It included a nice bathroom, a very large bedroom with a king-size bed, a full kitchen, large fridge, oven, the works. It also had a patio that had a beautiful view of the ocean. Our apartment was located in the Mango Beach area, which is about a 25-minute walk to the main area of Saranda. The view we had was spectacular, don't you think?
It was gorgeous. We watched sunrises, sunsets, moonrises, got up in the middle of the night to watch the moon on the water. It was absolutely beautiful.
We were very happy with our Airbnb. We also had a very nice Airbnb in Barat, and our 2 hotels in Tirana were actually very nice as well, weren't they?
Yeah, definitely. The first was nicer than the second, but they were both adequate for overnight stays.
Absolutely. So with renting Airbnb, you receive a considerable discount for long term. Because we were in Saranda out of tourist season, our rate was considerably less than we would have paid in the peak season, right?
Yeah, you can expect to spend 2 to 3 times more during peak season, which is July and August.
Exactly. So our cost per month on average for accommodation expense was $517.30 US dollars.
The second category is eating out, including beverages. So there is a vibrant expat community. A lot of these funds were spent at the Dick and Devil, where the expats hang out. Mm-hmm. There were some meals out with friends as well, breakfast, lunch, dinner, various get-togethers that we went to. So the total of that is $687.60.
You know, we did cook quite a bit at home, but you know, we did go out a fair bit, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. It was a pretty social environment for us, so that was quite nice. So next we'll get to transportation, and transportation includes our major costs of bus from Tirana into Saranda, as well as back at the end of our trip. It also includes all of our local bus, which is basically sometimes from town to where our apartment was if we had groceries that we didn't want to carry the whole way. It also includes buses to day trips that we did to Barat and to Girocaster, and all that sort of stuff. And that came out to $95.55 per month.
Next category is groceries. So that is everything we spent on supermarkets, produce stands, green markets, butchers, you name it. It would include some kind of drugstore items as well, such as body wash, aluminum foil, plastic wrap, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Basically, household consumables go into the grocery category. And on that, we spent $302.07 US.
And that brings us to the next category, which is entertainment. In that, we include things like boat trips, excursions for hiking, and this sort of stuff. We didn't do a ton of excursions. It would also include costs for entry into museums or castles, this type of thing where you are paying for entry, and that was $74.13 a month.
Next category is utilities and phone. That included roughly $75 US for 3 months of utilities, which were extra on top of our Airbnb accommodation. The phone was roughly $15 US per month, so our average per month for the period was $45.39 US for the time period.
Right, and so we both have cell phones, but we only get one data plan. So that data plan that you purchased was with Vodafone. And when you arrive in Tirana at the airport, you can purchase a tourist package through Vodafone. And once that tourist package expires, then you can roll it into a monthly plan. Is that right?
Yeah. So you pay for your initial 3 weeks, then you go into their office, you convert it to a monthly plan. You just go in once a month, pay them the cash, and that extends it. Vodafone apparently covers all of the Balkans. We did find the Vodafone package worked when we went into Montenegro, but we did have some issues trying to renew it from Montenegro, so we needed to buy a new SIM at that point.
So next up, we have bank fees, and this is always a topic that gets lots of conversation on the expat forums regarding things like Albanian ATM service charges. And our experience actually has been that they are really no different than any other area in the Balkans, really. So we spent on average each month $50.02 on bank service charges. That includes the ATM charges at the Albanian bank side, and it also includes fees for withdrawals and conversion fees. We both use Wise cards for cash withdrawals, and we have found that this is the most efficient way to withdraw cash, at least for us as Canadians. It's much better than using our Canadian ATM cards. And the nice thing with Wise is that all of their fees are very transparent. So we've used that.
Yeah. They're transparent about both their fees to convert currency and the fees payable to Wise on the ATM withdrawal as well. So you're basically paying 3 fees. As a Canadian, we're paying for the conversion of the Canadian dollars into the LEC and a withdrawal charge at the ATM to Wise, and then also the local bank ATM. The last category is miscellaneous, and this is a bit of a catch-all. It includes various purchases we made. I bought some canvases for painting. I bought some knitting supplies. Jay bought a hat. Jay had 3 haircuts while we were in Albania. And in the first 2 or 3 days after we landed in Tirana, we had brought some LEC back with us. I wasn't super conscientious about tracking the cost categories for the first 3 days, so there was a bit of catch-all expenses that went into this as well. And so that average for the 3-month period, $60.43 US.
And so, that brings our grand total average cost per month to $1,832.49 US. So we think that was actually a really good value.
I think a couple that was less focused on social life and going out and meeting up with friends constantly as we were could easily do Saranda for $1,500 a month, as long as you did a fair bit of your own cooking and were careful about what you bought. One of the things with groceries is we were conscious to buy things that were local or locally produced, not going with imported food from home that was comforting to us. If you start buying familiar brands, you can be paying double of what you would pay for a similar locally produced product.
We are budget conscious travelers, and I would say that we sort of fall somewhere between the really low budget and kind of a mid-range. Certainly you could spend a lot more, and you could definitely spend less. We had friends in Saranda that were living on far less than that. Some as low as, say, $1,200 a month for a single person. So, if you are a single person, you can kind of, obviously deduct from this, half of a lot of the food expenses and outside expenses. Your accommodation expense is kind of going to be the same anyways. So overall, we felt Surrounded was a really good value, didn't we?
Yeah.
So if you have any questions or comments about budgets, about cost of living, please put them in the comments. We love to hear from people. We're more than willing to interact. You can also find our social media links on our YouTube, and there's ways to email us. There's a Facebook page that we have as well, and we really enjoy interacting with people. So hit us up if you're looking for information or help.
Absolutely. We'd love to hear from you.